Homemaking is a high and blessed calling, whether you are living alone in a small apartment or you have a large family in a large home that you are caring for. And yet, it is challenging to not become overwhelmed with the sense of drudgery in the repeated tasks that we do as homemakers. We do similar things every day to maintain and care for our home, but I want to encourage you today with some excerpts from some of my favorite books and authors in hopes that it will encourage you in this high and valuable work that you are doing in your home today. A quote from C.S. Lewis. I think I can understand that feeling about a housewife's work being like that of Sisyphus, who was a stone-rolling gentleman. But it is surely in reality the most important work in the world. What do ships and railways, miners, cars, government, etc. exist for, except that people may be fed and warmed and safe in their own homes? As Dr. Johnson said, to be happy at home is the end of all human endeavor. First, to be happy to prepare for being happy in our own real home hereafter, and second, in the meantime, to be happy in our houses. We wage war in order to have peace. We work in order to have leisure. We produce food in order to eat it. And so our job at home is the one for which all others exist. A quote by G.K. Chesterton. When domesticity, for instance, is called drudgery, all the difficulty arises from a double meaning in the word. If drudgery only means dreadfully hard work, I admit that woman drudges in the home as a man might drudge at the Cathedral of Amiens or drudge behind a gun at Trafalgar. But if it means that the hard work is more heavy because it is trifling, colorless, and of small import to the soul, then as I say, I give up. I do not know what the words mean. To be Queen Elizabeth within a definite area deciding sales, banquets, labors, and holidays? To be Whiteley within a certain area providing toys, boots, sheets, cakes, and books? To be Aristotle within a certain area teaching morals, manners, theology, and hygiene? I can understand how this might exhaust the mind, but I cannot imagine how it could narrow it. How it can be a large career to tell other people's children about the rule of three, and a small career to tell one's own children about the universe. How can it be broad to be the same thing to everyone, and narrow to be everything to someone? No, a woman's function is laborious, but because it is gigantic, not because it is minute. I will pity Mrs. Jones for the hugeness of her task. I will never pity her for its smallness. John Angell James. She shall, with my consent, never sink from the side of man to be trampled under his feet. She shall not have one ray of her glory extinguished, nor be deprived of a single honor that belongs to her sex, but to be the instructress of her children, the companion of her husband, and the queen consort of the domestic state is no degradation, and she only is degraded who thinks it to be so. A little note on our role as mothers in the home by Henry Ward Beecher. By a mother's planning and industry night and day, by her willfulness of love, by her fidelity, she brings up her children. Do not read to me the campaigns of Caesar, and tell me nothing about Napoleon's wonderful exploits. For I tell you that as God and the angels look down upon the silent history of that woman's administration, and upon those men-building processes which went on in her heart and mind through a score of years, nothing exterior, no outward development of kingdoms, no empire building, can compare with what Mother has done. Nothing can compare in beauty and wonder and admirableness and divinity itself to the silent work in obscure dwellings of faithful women bringing their children to honor and virtue and piety. A few thoughts and passages now on just the beauty and value of home. This is from Golden Gems of Life. The home is the fountain of civilization. Our laws are made in the home. The things said there give bias to character far more than do sermons and lectures, newspapers, and books. No other audience are so susceptible and receptive as those gathered about the table and the fireside, and no other teachers have the acknowledged and divine right to instruct that is granted without challenge to parents. The foundation of our national life is under their hand. They can make it send forth waters bitter or sweet for the death or the healing of the people. T.D. Witt Tamalj says, "If you wanted to gather up all tender memories, all lights and shadows of the heart, all banquetings and reunions, all filial, fraternal, paternal, conjugal affections, and had only 4 letters with which to spell out that height and depth and length and breadth and magnitude and eternity of meaning, you would write it all out with these 4 capital letters, HOME." Thank you for joining me here today. I hope that this video has helped you feel inspired, motivated, and encouraged about your work in the home and the beauty and highness of this calling. I will see you in the next video.